welcome to Sarah's Stamping Retreat. Today I'll be showing you how to create an infinity centre stepper card using this Just a Little Note Blossoms stamp set from Polkadoodles, and I've taken the actual stamps out because so that you can see how much bigger they are than they look on the front cover, because this one's actually really quite a big stamp. So the first thing I'm going to do is create the centre stepper part of the card. So I've got an A6 card base here which measures 4 1/8 by 5 7/8 inches, and that's made of smoky slate cardstock from Stampin' Up. And then I've got a 2.5 by 8 inch piece, the same cardstock here, and I'm just going to score that at 4 inches and at 6 inches. And then I'm going to fold that on both of those lines, and that will become the centre stepper part. So that will stand up like that. So then I've got another 2.5 by 4 inch piece of the grey cardstock that I'm going to use now. I'm going to take a piece of scrap paper, I'm going to pop that on, and I'm going to use this, which is the Moroccan screen stencil from Polkadoodles. I'm going to add some tape down the sides to keep the stencil in place. And I'm going to use the smoky slate ink from Stampin' Up so that we get like a tone on tone look. And I'm just going to lightly stencil that on. So I'm not looking for a heavy coverage, just a bit of texture for the background. Then I'm just going to lever that up just to see that I've got a bit of texture. Yeah, and you can see that even though it didn't look like we were putting on that much through the stencil, you can still see that lovely pattern. So then I'm going to take this large stamp and I'm going to just ink that up. And then I'm going to use this Sunshine Valley Garden set of markers from Altenew to colour it. So then I'm going to take my chart that has all my Altenew marker colours on, and I'm going to just pop this up against it and see which colour it matches most closely. So that's that evening grey. And that's another reason why it's really nice to swatch all your markers, because then it's really easy to compare things when you need a certain colour. So here's the evening grey, and I'm going to use that just to go around the image a little bit, and that's because I'm going to cut it out, but I don't want white edges, I want grey edges. So now I'm going to cut this out, just leaving a bit of a gap around the flower as I go, and that way I can make sure that the lines stay intact, and it helps give it a nicer edge as well. It also means where there's tricky bits like here, I don't have to cut it out to make it kind of blend with the card. So that will be ready to go on here. So then I'm going to take my card blank, I'm going to go back in with that Moroccan stencil. And the stencil's not big enough to fit my card, but I'm not going to worry about that because this piece in the middle is going to be covered by our centre panel anyway, so I don't need to worry about this middle bit. So I'm going back in with the same grey ink again. And I'm going to do the same on the other side, and again I'm not too worried about what's going on in the middle, it's only the sides that I'm worried about. So then I'm going to take this piece that we created earlier, and actually I should have just stenciled the inside of that as well. So that's this long flat piece. I'm going to bend the other bit over because I don't want that bit stenciled. So then I'm just going to glue on a 2 3/4 inch by 4 1/8 inch piece of Melon Mambo cardstock from Stampin' Up. And then I'm going to add glue just at the bottom of this piece here, that easel piece, and then I'm going to line this piece that we stenciled up over the top of it, and then I'm going to glue that, and then I've popped some foam pads onto the back of this floral piece, and I'm just going to position this on here. And then I'm going to cut that off in line with the bottom of this piece here. Then I'm going to line this piece up with the bottom of here and also with the die cut when it stands up. Then I'm going to use this Happy Birthday sentiment from the Birthday Celebration stamp set. And really I wish I'd stamped this at the start before I'd put all this on, but originally I was going to have my sentiment as the stopper here, and it's only when I put this flower on I saw how nice that looks together without the sentiment that I decided to put the sentiment down here. So if you're watching this back, then please stamp this before you put everything else on. And I'm just going to have to hope and pray that I don't make a mistake in my stamping. I stamp it on some spare paper first, just to make sure I'm getting a nice image. So then I've not got any gems that match the colours that I've used on my card, so I'm just going to use my Rubelite alcohol marker. I'm going to colour these so that they match my card. I'm going to do a few smaller ones and a few bigger ones. So then this folds down in the post, and then you can pop it up and flip it behind there when the recipient gets it. So there's kind of like the full frontal view for you. So I really hope that you've enjoyed today's project. If you did, I'd appreciate you clicking like below. You can also press subscribe if you'd like to see future videos. All of the products that I've used to create today's card are listed in the description below, and there's also a link there to my blog where you can find a picture supply list if that helps you find what you're looking for. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope to see you again soon.